there was a show we did back in March, February, where I brought up the Suns to win it all, and I got laughed at. And look where
I would have
now.
never. I was actually very much. I recommended that pick too at one point. So that wouldn't have me. That must have been a Greg show. Classic bully Greg.
Classic.
Greg,
yes.
nerd ass, whatever. It's fine. Yeah, no, I definitely know that out of all of us on this panel, that Greg is the most invested in the Suns. So he had like a 28-1 ticket, 35-1 ticket. The guy is living the high life. But I still think betting Phoenix in this spot, I definitely am interested, even at 425. I think we talked a couple weeks ago, the three of us as well, that I didn't see an opportunity against the Lakers where I could really hedge out. I thought Anthony Davis was hurt. He was at plus 850, and it was actually up to 900 there for a second, and was able to get a little bit of coin in on that, which was awfully nice because, I'm obviously very heavily invested in the Clippers, and I'm begging for the Clippers to get there so that I can kind of just guarantee myself a nice W no matter what on that side. But even at plus 425, I think because you're going to look at the Clippers and it's just going to be a difficult end of this series. And right now, where the Jazz are at, plus 400 over on OddsShopper for the finals win, plus 900 for the Clippers. I still probably am going to be firing a little bit of Clippers because that's going to be closer to 50-50 here coming out of this game. I'm assuming as long as the Clippers can handle business the way that I think they can. Winning the West, I think I'm going to just kind of wait because you're looking at them, Phoenix plus 145, same number as Utah. I think that's about appropriate. And the Clippers, plus 350, that'd be fine just in terms of getting out of the West because I'm already invested on those sides of it. The only way that I'd really go a little bit heavier would be through the finals winner.
I think the one that jumps out is going to be Derek's Clippers here, plus 900 to win it all right now. That's too low. Like it just shouldn't be right there.
Yep.
And I think if they do win tonight, I do have my reservations. I think there's a chance to go down 3-1. But if they were to go down 3-1, we've seen people I think who are weaker than the Clippers overcome that just last year, including this Denver team who got swept this week. But I think the Clippers in this spot, like I wouldn't mind them if they lost this one. I think if you got even better odds in that situation, I'd still be willing to go there. But today, plus 900, when the nearest one to them is going to be the Sixers at plus 600. I just think those aren't efficient odds. And the Clippers, to me, as well as the Lakers, we talked about a lot throughout the year, they were a team that I feel like was a little bit overvalued, and now it's completely swung the other way where they're undervalued. So that bet to me, I think, is one that really jumps out, and one that I also just wouldn't take. And it's funny because I definitely got a little bit of Twitter heat from this one when we talked about it on the show, and it wasn't anything that we said negatively, but it was like with the Brooklyn Nets odds, I was like, yeah, I don't know. There's like a lot of contingencies that have to go down there. And this is before the Harden injury, but I had mentioned like, oh yeah, like Kyrie, there's a chance like he's a guy who has a lot of things that he's aware of socially and things that just strike the wrong nerve with him. I thought that was a risk profile, but we didn't even account for the injuries. And people were like mad saying like, oh, the Nets, how are they not the title favorite? It's because there's question marks with them. At plus 300 now, you're not getting any discount to bet on the Nets at all. And if anything, you're paying basically the exact same freight you have all year long for them to be a title winner. So they are a bet to me that I wouldn't make in a million years right now because I think there's a chance they end up blowing the series if they don't get Harden or Kyrie back next game. And in this spot, to me, I think that's one bet I wouldn't take. And on the other end, the Clippers, I think, are a really, really strong bet right now.